taifa, kwani kilimo ndicho huboresha maisha. Ukitaka kujua haya usipime kipimo, na ukikaa nasi basi utaboresha kilimo.
Marahaba, ni Jumamosi nyingine maridadi tunakutana katika kipindi Boresha Kilimo. Hiki ni kipindi ambacho kinaangazia nyanja mbalimbali za kilimo, teknolojia ibuka, hali kadhalika kilimo asili. Hii leo tunaangazia harakati za wanafunzi wa kilimo wanavyostawisha kilimo humu nchini katika Chuo Kikuu cha Jomo Kenyatta cha Kilimo na Teknolojia. Popote ulipo, hujambo na karibu. Mimi ni Laban Shaban.
Na ukikaa nasi basi utaboresha kilimo.
Ganda la mua la jana, chungu kaliona kivuno. Msemo huu unashabihiana na hali hii. Hizi mabaki ya koko za nazi. Hapa kwenye kitalu hiki hamna mchanga, miche inawekwa kwenye koko za nazi. Wengine waliona takataka, lakini wanafunzi hapa wakasema basi hii ndio dhahabu. Katika kutengeneza vitalu tutatumia koko za nazi. Ili kuelewa hii kwa fusuli kwa wazi, ninaungana na mwanafunzi katika Chuo Kikuu cha Jomo Kenyatta cha Kilimo na Teknolojia, Joseph Kinywa, atueleze zaidi. Wakulima wengi sasa wanakuza miche kutoka kwa zao zima kuwa njia mpya ya kukuza au kuzalisha mimea. Kwa hivyo wanakuza mimea michanga kutoka kwa mbegu au sehemu za mimea.
Final year student at Jkuat, Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, pursuing a bachelor in horticulture science. As well, I'm the chairperson of Horticulture Student Association, Jkuat. This is a club of students doing agriculture-related course, those that are pursuing agriculture and those pursuing BSc horticulture. But we don't limit other students pursuing different courses. As long as you are passionate about agriculture, you are welcome to join us. So here in Horticulture Association, we have different activity. What we learn in class, the practical part of it. So here we have the propagation of seedling. These are propagation unit, as you can see. We do propagation of seedling. From the nursery, we also do the management, the normal management of the crop. That is from transplanting, the feeding of this crop, the disease and the pest management, and everything pertaining to that crop until we get the final product out of it. We also do the installation of irrigation system, those drips and other sprinkler on anything related to irrigation system. Despite that, we also do the urban smart garden. Those are different kitchen garden, installing different kitchen garden for different people. Maybe they have constructed everywhere, they have a little space, but they desire to have the vegetable at their place, so we do also help them to do those activity.
Mbinu ya uzalishaji wa mazao unaotumika katika Chuo Kikuu cha Jkuat ni teknolojia ya kisasa ya kukuza miche bila udongo au kuhitaji kipande cha ardhi ili kukuza miche yako. Aina hii ni njia ya kupata aina mpya ya mmea yenye nguvu pamoja na kuepuka magonjwa.
About the propagation, this is where we develop or we get the seed, we plant it, and then we get the seedling. That's the normal production in just a layman language. It's just the production of seedling from a seeds. Maybe instead of doing the direct seeding, because some people buy the seedling from outside or from other source, they just plant direct. But when you have the seedling maybe from the nursery, as you can see, the rate of production will be high as compared with the other method of with direct seeding.
Ikiwa mkulima anataka kujiunga na mfumo huu wa usambazaji wa mazao, kuna mambo kadhaa anahitaji kuzingatia ili kupata matokeo bora kutoka kwa uzalishaji wa mimea.
In propagation unit, we start with the Cocopeat. This is the media that we use here. As you all know that coconut, for those who do not know about the Cocopeat, is the remain of coconut, the remaining part. As after we eat the inner part, we remain the outer part, and that's what this what is crushed, and we obtain it as a Cocopeat. But in our country, majority of us, we just waste it. But in other country, they crush, and then we buy from them as a media. So here in Horticulture Students Association, we have done a different research and also different project with the assistance of Professor Esonga, and we have come to find the Cocopeat is the best media for propagation of seedling. As we know, Cocopeat grow in the ocean or is in a place where there is a high concentration of salt. So you cannot just plant you cannot plant directly. You need to get the Cocopeat. After here, we soak it for 24 hours. Then from there, we do now wash. Because the salt, the concentration of salt is very high, we have something we call isimeter, and that's what helps us to identify that this salt is just optimal with the issue of the water. And we ensure it's at least 200. Well, from 200 is ready for transplanting.
Katika hali nyingi, udongo unaweza kuathiriwa na magonjwa au hata wadudu, kwa hivyo kuufanya usiwe bora kwa uzalishaji wa mazao. Lakini kwa njia mpya ya ukuzaji, mtu anaweza kupata miche mizuri ambayo haina wadudu na magonjwa.
The reason we prefer Cocopeat instead of using the soil, Cocopeat is neutral. It doesn't, when you obtain it, it is not infected with any disease, any nutrient, because you find that you can maybe acquire some soil. Maybe this soil may be lacking a certain macro or micro element, but for Cocopeat, it is neutral. So it is for us who will control the nutrient that we are feeding this crop. Another advantage of Cocopeat as compared with the soil is water retention. This Cocopeat is in a position to retain water. In another position, aeration, we can also recycle. So it has so much advantage as compared with the soil. So it becomes the best media for propagation of seedling.
Kupitia njia hii mpya ya uzalishaji wa mazao, ambapo mkulima anatumia koko za nazi, mkulima anaweza kusindika tena na kuitumia muda mwingi kueneza miche mipya.
Maybe I have a small hole that the seed maybe did not germinate. So the remaining part of Cocopeat, the one that I will recycle.
Kupata mazao, mkulima hahitaji shamba kubwa kuotesha miche. Tray zina nafasi nzuri na mtu anaweza kuwa na miche mingi ikilinganishwa na njia ya zamani ambapo atatakiwa kuwa na eneo kubwa ili kukuza mbegu.
We have different tray here, depending now on the seedling. We have a 66, those are big now, the big cells. We have 128, we have 200, 204. But now the type of the tray you use, it will depend with the type of seedling that you are planting. Like sweet potato, we have the sweet potato which we will be looking after. They require a cell that is large. But for capsicum, as we have seen, it does not just require that much tray because the root, they are just small. So the number of root is what at least will guide you, and also the number, the type of the crop you are doing. So after the Cocopeat is well washed, we just fill it on the tray. After that, you just prepare and make just maybe small holes. Then you place your seeds. Now the seed is there, the seed. Then from there we have now the nursery. This is now the nursery.
Wakati wa kukuza miche yako, nyumba ya kioo ni muhimu, ama ukipenda greenhouse, kwani mkulima anaweza kurudisha kiwango cha joto ama kudhibiti kiwango cha joto, jua, na pia anaweza kudhibiti magonjwa na wadudu wakati wa kukuza miche.
We have now the nursery. This is now the nursery, but the planting happened outside there. But after we have placed now the seed, the seedling are now brought here is the propagation unit. From here you can see we have the shade net. Because as we know, there is a accumulation of a lot of heat in the nursery, and the shade net help us to reduce the heat intensity, because the seed are still young and you need to take care a lot of heat. So from the start, we have now the shade net that reduce the heat intensity. After that, the tray are just placed very well, as you can see just around the nursery. From there, after 3 to 5 days, depending on the weather, the germination will start.
Unaendelea kutazama Boresha Kilimo, kipindi ambacho tunaamini kitastawisha kilimo humu nchini. Ninaporegesha kitalu hiki cha pilipili hoho, basi ndio hivyo, nachukua pumziko fupi, halafu tarejea na mengi zaidi. Usiondoke hapo ulipo.
Na ukikaa nasi basi utaboresha kilimo. Na ukikaa nasi basi utaboresha kilimo.
Karibu katika sehemu ya pili ya Boresha Kilimo, ambapo tunaangazia usimamizi wa vitalu ama ukipenda nursery katika nyumba ya kioo. Popote ulipo unataka kusema nasi, usichelee. Tutafute kwenye mitandao yote ya kijamii @KUTV Kenya. Nitafute mimi @Laban Shaban, weka alama ya reli. Boresha Kilimo. Wakati wa kuandaa matandiko ya kitalu, mkulima lazima azingatie mbinu bora ya kutumia kukuza miche yake, kwani ikiwa chombo kitakosa virutubishi vinavyohitajika, basi miche haitachipuka na kunawiri.
The Cocopeat is neutral. It does not have any nutrient at all. So here we have the type of nutrient that we feed this crop. This is the kind of the fertilizer we use. So these are just 1 week old seedling, but you cannot feed the same nutrient this tray with this one. You can see, and also with this one. So we have different stages. After they have germinated, we start with the raw concentration. We start with the raw concentration for the young one, and we start with maybe 15 ml for this one. As they continue to grow, we start now increase the feeding program. From there, we just leave them and they do well. We do it thrice per week, so that is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yes, that's at least thrice per week. But now, in between, you have to feed the water, depending now on weather or the weather condition. Because sometimes it will be too hot, you have to water twice per day. Sometimes, like nowadays, the weather is just so favorable, you can water maybe once per day, or maybe you just have to leave just 1 day. We don't use organic fertilizer here. We use the synthetic, because we know this crop, we see the Cocopeat does not have any fertilizer at all. So you need to provide both the macro and the micro element at all. So this fertilizer we are using, that is named Wuxo Micro Mix, it has both the macro and micro element. That is the NPK, which is the main, and also the other. Yes.
Wakati mkulima anapanda mazao, lazima aelewe kwamba miche inahitaji viwango tofauti vya mwangaza na joto katika ukuaji wa mizizi, na pia kuzuia miche kukosa maji.
The shade net come with different light penetration. They allow different penetration of light. We have like those will allow maybe 55% of the light to pass, other will allow 70, other will allow 95% of the light. So the kind of shade net we are using here, it is 55%. So it does not maybe reduce that large amount, but it reduces that heat intensity that cannot maybe affect the plant or maybe destroy the crop. So the heat we are getting is what the plant require. The color at least we prefer black, because it is the best. But you can also, we have also the different, but the manufacturer, they have made that with the penetration now. You can have the black, the penetration 55. You can have green, but they also it reduces the light penetration to 55%.
Mbegu haziwezi kukua katika mchanga mkavu, kwani unyevu ni muhimu kwa kuota kwa mbegu. Kwa msaada wa usambazaji wa umwagiliaji, unyevu unaohitajika wa mchanga kwa ukuaji wa mbegu unaweza kuhakikisha mazingira bora.
So we have the irrigation system there because this nursery is a big nursery. So watering just normal, it can be stressful. We have our electric pump there. We have managed to manipulate that pump in two ways. About the feeding program, as I said earlier, that we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we don't just eat manually, but we have the automated pump there. So what we do, the machine helps us to do the watering. We have the shower head. When you are feeding the water, we have two tanks, a big one with water and a small one with the nutrient, but we have the same pump. So what we do when you are feeding we are feeding water, we close the valve that is bringing the nutrient. But when you are feeding the nutrient, we close the valve that is feeding water and you open the nutrient, and that's how we do feed the water. It's just like 30 minutes, you are done with everything.
Kila mkulima kila wakati anakabiliwa na changamoto ya wadudu na wagonjwa. Kwa hivyo mkulima anapaswa kuwa na upendo sana na miche yake ili aweze kutambua mdudu yeyote anayeshambulia miche au magonjwa yoyote.
We have the challenge here also with the disease and pest. And the main disease that have become notorious here is aphid. Aphid have become notorious, so we have to control. Aphids, they have become notorious. Here we have different insecticides that we do use. At least per week we ensure we spray once. We do first the scouting. We scout, then we observe maybe there is any presence of any pest. Then from there we're in a position now to know which type of insecticide I'm going to use to control this type of pest. The disease, the main disease is dumping off. Dumping off, it is the main disease that affect this crop. And we also have the fungicide, those fungicide that help us to control this kind of disease. So we first do the monitoring, and then we try to prevent. Instead of controlling, we try now to prevent this kind of problem from affecting our seedling. Here what we do, we have different, we do propagate seedling in different stage. From what you can see, here I have tray that they have not germinated. I have some seed that have already germinated. As you can see there, we have different seed at different stages. So what we do, we plant them in different stages. By the moment that nursery, maybe that seedlings be taken by the customer or any the buyer that will come allowed, the smaller one will not be the problem that was being experienced by those one do not maybe have been transmitted to this one. And we also ensure we put them at different benches to prevent the seedling maybe with the same family, because when you put seedling in the same family, the same problem that affected this seedling, it will affect also the same variety. So we try also to have that distinction.
Wakati mwingine kudhibiti wadudu, mkulima anashauriwa kuinua kitanda cha kitalu katika kiwango fulani ambacho pia husaidia mkulima kufanya kazi bila kuinama. Pengine atapunguza uchovu na atafanya kazi kwa njia sawa kabisa akifurahia.
This is another method of controlling disease, because especially maybe our soil you find there's a lot of bacteria with it. Is a disease that is a soil-borne disease. So what we do, having such kind the tray being raised this way, it will help us to prevent the disease maybe from affecting the tray, because the moment it come in contact with the tray, I sell my seedling to the farmer, then his or her farm did not have any problem or any issue with the disease at all, but he have transferred a disease which is a seedling which is affected by a particular disease to his or her farm. So having a such kind of bench will prevent it will prevent disease. Also, it will help in workable. As you can see, my colleague, they are having at least a humble time when they are doing their work. They are not supposed maybe you are just down there, but having this way, it will help a lot.
Kuwa shambani kunahitaji muda mwingi na ufuatiliaji wa karibu wa mimea ili uweze kuona mabadiliko yoyote shambani.
So we have different the club is run by students. So we have those at the first year, we have those in second year, the third year and the final year. You'll find most of the time, maybe sometime there's those time you are free, but our main day is Saturday. Saturday is our free day, so you will find majority of the students here spending their time well. Instead of spending your time doing unnecessary things that will not help you at the end. So everything we do here, we do it during our free time. So during the weekday, there are those time we are free, we don't have any classes, but maybe a certain person, I have a class, but my colleague does not have a class. So you find them here. We have that rotation of duties, depending on the classes and also depending on the number or the work that we have.
Kuhusiana na kuibuka kwa teknolojia mpya, wakulima wanashauriwa kuikumbatia, kwani inahitaji wafanyakazi wachache na inakupa faida zaidi.
Kwa wale wakulima ambao wanatumia zile jinsi za kitambo za ukulima, tunawahimiza au we are encouraging them to adopt the propagation this new method of seedling propagation. And it may be, in case you are not in a position maybe to do it, that's the reason we are here. That's the reason we have other people doing the same thing. When I pick this seedling, is alive. This seedling is just lively. Unless I can transport this seedling to Mombasa, I can transport this seedling anywhere for a long period of time, because it have itself just allowed the Cocopeat. So after planting this seedling, it is 99% or 99.9% that it will peak. As compared with the other method, you have just to plant it, you give it water, and you're not sure if it will survive. So these are one best method of using the tray. Another method we are saying about the quality. Using the tray, you're in a position to get a quality seedling out of it. Yeah. And also we are reducing the disturbance of the root. Because for me, I'm just picking this single plant with just specific root on it. But if I the old way, a person will just have to uproot either 10, 20 plants. Having disturbed, or you are leaving some root of a certain crop in the soil. But having this kind of tray, you have now a good number of it will just pick well. Another thing, you're in a position to transport it in anywhere, because sometimes we said soil have disease, but for Cocopeat, having it this way.
Njia ya kisasa ya uzalishaji wa mazao, wakulima hawapaswi kuogopa, kwani ni ya bei rahisi na ni nzuri kwa kutunza ikilinganishwa na njia za zamani.
It is not that expensive, it is affordable, so let nobody lie to you is that expensive. It's very cheap and affordable, and also buying the seedling, propagating is just simple. So here it works in two ways. You can bring your seed, you just go and buy your seed wherever you are, just around the country, just purchase them, bring the seeds here, we now just propagate you at a price which is lower. But you can also come, then you tell us what you want. Then we buy the seed and also we propagate for you. So for you come and get your seedling quality and ready for transplanting. So it's not that expensive.
Kila mkulima hupitia changamoto kadhaa. Soko ni mojawapo ya changamoto, kwani mkulima akikosa soko, bidhaa zake huharibika. The challenges, first we are students, we are learning, and we said what we do here is during our free time.
but we try to do that. The other thing is about the marketing. Not many people are just maybe being aware of like you see, our nursery just have maybe the seed. They don't know there's some things being done by student. The biggest issue is the market, but we have our page, Facebook page, Horticulture Student Association, and that's where we do advertise our product using the social media.
Ukiangalia nyumba ya kioo unapata kuna neti, na neti hii inapunguza ama kudhibiti kiwango cha joto katika nyumba hii ili kuweza kutunza miche ambayo ipo katika kitalu hiki. Ulisikia wapi kwamba kilimo ni ushamba? Umeona jinsi vijana wamejikakamua kuhakikisha kwamba wanarembesha mustakabali wa taifa hii, kuhakikisha kwamba siku za usoni kutakuwa na utoshelevu wa chakula. Kufikia hapo tumefika tamati ya kipindi cha leo, Boresha Kilimo. Hadi Jumamosi ijayo saa 6:30 kwa mitindo mingine ya kilimo. Nimekuwa wako Laban Shaban. Wassalam.